Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about some different pieces of news that have came out recently on Tesla, and this especially has an effect on Tesla stock. As you can see, it's currently at $1,001 right now. It was actually at $1,000 even, $0 across the board except the one, so that was pretty satisfying to see that earlier, kind of cool to see. And as we know, Tesla has been on the borderline of 1,000 a lot lately. It's going back and forth over and under 1,000. But I just wanted to share this news video with you all. If you do appreciate this type of content where I talk about Tesla news and Tesla stock and the recent things that have been happening with this company, then please make sure to smash that like button, drop a like on the video. It really does help me out. And I think it's always interesting, of course, to do these types of videos, not only because I'm interested in the company, but also because it takes up a large part of my portfolio as well, with it being about 39% of my portfolio. So with this, we're going to go ahead and jump over into this article by Electric, and it states that Tesla has acquired $5 million worth of land outside Austin, Texas to build a new factory. So this title alone right here, before we even jump into the details, this is huge because as we know, for the past while or so, Tesla has kind of been trying to decide over Tulsa, Oklahoma or Austin, Texas. And a lot of us already realized that Austin, Texas was seeming like the more likely location for the new factory. But it did seem like Tulsa, Oklahoma was really wanting Tesla to come over there. And it seems like they were going to offer some decent incentives for them to move to Oklahoma. And they were building like statues of Elon Musk and promising that they would use Cybertrucks for their law enforcement vehicles and stuff like that. So this has definitely been a topic that people have been wondering about lately, whether Tesla is going to choose Austin, Texas, or whether Tesla is going to choose Tulsa, Oklahoma. And like I said before, it definitely seems like Tulsa needed Tesla a lot more than Tesla needed Tulsa. Austin, Texas seems like a better location that would provide more benefits to Tesla, and especially as we go farther into this article talking about their purchase of this land, then it kind of gives you an even better idea of why Austin does seem like a good option for a location. And as we go down farther into this article, as you can see, there's this picture right here. I'm assuming this is the location that they plan to build the Gigafactory on, the recent purchases that they've made. But moving on to this, it states that Tesla is acquiring $5 million worth of land outside of Austin, Texas to build its new factory, as it is about to secure over $60 million in incentives for the project. So this is definitely a huge deal as well. It's important to keep in mind that Tesla has purchased this land, yet they are still waiting on a response in terms of an incentives deal for building a factory in Austin, Texas. So as we know, when a huge company brings in a big factory, builds a factory from the ground up in an area, it definitely has a huge economic impact, a positive economic impact, because it adds a lot of jobs. I know here in Kentucky, there's the Toyota factory in Georgetown. I know a lot of people where I live that are willing to drive hours away just to work at that factory. I have family members and friends that do that. So even at a distance of like hours away, people are still willing to drive for those jobs. And I think they're going to be willing to do the same for the Tesla factory in Austin, Texas. And it's going to be a huge benefit economically to this state. So I think that it is a little bit reasonable for Tesla to request these tax incentives right here, the $60 million, even if they aren't able to agree on that exact number. If it's reasonable for both the state of Texas and Tesla as a company as well, then that'll be a good thing, because Tesla is bringing some benefit to Austin, Texas. They're bringing some business that they didn't have before, which is going to employ thousands and thousands of people. And not only is it going to employ those people, but it adds a lot to the revenue in terms of state taxes for Texas as well, with many people buying Tesla vehicles. Honestly, if it were up to me, I think both Austin, Texas and the Shanghai Gigafactory, or like some other new factory in China, would be an awesome option for the new Cybertruck upcoming. Of course, we would have a location in America for the Cybertruck, and then if we created another factory in China, I think there's a lot of benefit to having a factory in China, simply because of the fact that they're able to really build the factory from ground up in like under a year. As we can see with the Shanghai Gigafactory, they absolutely just streamlined that process of getting everything built, and I can't believe how much progress they've made. So China is really efficient when it comes to building things fast, and in terms of just a time-sensitive matter, I think that definitely benefits Tesla. And also just having one in Texas, Austin, Texas as well, would be an awesome thing, because we we have one on hand, local location in the United States. We pretty much have to have that. But moving on further into the article, it emphasizes that this is a 2,100 acre piece of land that is pictured above, as you can see. So this is the picture of the land that they purchased, and it mentions that it's just outside of Austin, Texas. And to just emphasize how big of a piece of land this actually is, and why Tesla is searching for an agreement on tax incentives with the state of Texas, because of the tremendous amount of property taxes that they're going to have to pay for owning this piece of property. Just to give you all some perspective, a football field is about 1.32 acres. And here we are with a 2,100 acre piece of land, which equals to about 1,600 football fields in terms of just size with this 2,100 acre land plot. So that's definitely a huge piece of land, and I can only imagine like how much money that will actually cost in the long term for property taxes. And like I said, that's why they're searching for such a huge incentive tax deal, the $60 million in incentives for the taxes. And it emphasizes that the land is currently occupied by a sand and gravel mining site, but that Tesla is buying the location for just over $5 million, which was revealed in an application by the Texas Comptroller's Office. And it says that Tesla describes the project in the application, quote, Tesla is evaluating the possible development, design, and construction of an electric vehicle manufacturing plant in Travis County within the Austin Green property. This site is approximately 2,100 acres and located at the intersections of SH 130 and Harold Green Road. The property is currently a sand and gravel mining site owned and operated by Martin Marietta and Texas Construction Projects. The Martin Marietta assets will operate for a period of time, but will be relocated in the future to allow for build out of the site. The timeline for the relocation will be determined at a later date. And then this article emphasizes that they've already started the process of relocation, and that Tesla's construction team is already getting ready to build at this location near the Austin airport. But it emphasizes that it's not completely official until they've received approval from local authorities. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Even though they've had the cash and they've spent this tremendous amount of money on this project, it doesn't mean that off the bat they can just start up and start building this factory. They do have to get approval from the local government, which is another thing to keep in mind as well. But I'm assuming that Texas will be likely to try to work with them, as Tesla is bringing a lot of business and revenue and jobs to the state of Texas, like I mentioned earlier. So this is definitely not only a big deal for Tesla, but a big deal for Austin, Texas as well. Many states across the United States would love to have a Tesla factory because of what it brings to the table. So I do think it's likely that they will come to some sort of agreement on this incentives deal. Like I said, it may not be exactly what Tesla is wanting, but I feel like worst case scenario that it will be pretty even for both sides in terms of just some sort of like compromise where everybody benefits. And it emphasizes further in this article that the construction of the new Tesla factory is set to commence in Q3 of 2020, pending all approvals. And that's another thing that I've been seeing in article titles as well, which is that Tesla wants to start the construction of this new factory within summer of 2020 or Q3 of 2020. So this is something that they definitely want to accomplish, and I feel like that's pretty cool to think about as well, is that we kind of have like a set date of when they want to start doing all of this. It's not like we're wondering for the next few months or so, like when are they finally going to make some progress and buy some land and start creating a new factory? Well, we kind of have an answer right here now. Basically Q3 of 2020 or summer of 2020, which is their goal right now. That's what they're planning to do. So it also says that Tesla is seeking approval for the local school district to forgive up to $68 million on its property tax bill over 10 years. And this is the incentives deal that Tesla is in talks with the local authorities, like I mentioned earlier. And yes, I know a lot of people talk about how some businesses get a lot of tax breaks and stuff like this, but I feel like this proposal isn't too ridiculous because, like I said, Tesla is offering a lot to Texas in terms of the local economy. It's not just like they're showing up, providing no benefit, and then asking for some sort of tax incentive. They're actually doing a lot for Texas, even if it is like an indirect type of thing. And I feel like that would be pretty reasonable because it just talks about the $68 million being for just over the next 10 years. So this doesn't even include like the lifetime value of what Tesla is going to have to pay in terms of property taxes. They're probably going to have to pay like another $68 million after this $10 million, and that's not going to be incentivized. That will just be them paying the money outright. So that's something to keep in mind as well. It's a huge business expense. It's something that they can use as a business expense, but it still is an expense overall that will affect profits and stuff like that. So that's why Tesla is trying to be a little bit reserved in terms of saving some money if they can here and there, which is why they're requesting the $68 million property tax incentive. And this article right here shows like the full application. If you would like to read it, it's 86 pages. I'm going to keep it real with you all. I'm not going to read it. I don't think like 86 pages worth of information is is something that's going to provide a lot of value in terms of like the videos that I make and stuff like that. But the general idea is that they've purchased this property, they've acquired this property, and that they've applied for this incentive. This article then mentions that it would be a wider incentive package with Travis County and the state. So apparently this is not the full incentives that they would like to get out of everything. So I'm kind of wondering, at this $68 million, it has to be the same as this, you know, the one it mentions up here, over $60 million. So I'm guessing with the other incentives, it's not just public yet as to what they're requesting, but we do know about the property tax part. We just don't know about the rest that it does mention right here in terms of just a wider incentive package. And then it goes further to emphasize that CEO Elon Musk has been referring to Tesla's new factory as the Cybertruck Gigafactory because that's the location that they're planning on producing the new pickup truck. So this is definitely some game changer news because we finally got not a totally set in stone location, but at least we know they have purchased that property. It's looking a little bit likely, but we have to wait on everything to get approved. So far, we do have a location for the Cybertruck Gigafactory if all of these agreements go well and of course everything follows through perfectly. It also emphasized that not only will this be a location to produce Cybertrucks, but that it will be a Model Y production factory as well, which is a huge deal. That's the most recent Tesla release, and the Model Y is expected to be big, so that's something to keep in mind as well. Cybertruck and the Model Y, that's what the new Austin, Texas Gigafactory is supposed to be for. And the article emphasizes that Tesla aims to have a Model Y general assembly line running at the Austin factory by the end of the year. So like the article mentions, this is a very aggressive goal. This is definitely something like an Elon Musk timeline goal where he wants to get something done very fast. Considering that we're already halfway through the year and it took like a little over 9 months to create the base part of the Shanghai Gigafactory, then this seems like a little bit unlikely in just terms of a timeline, but there's nothing wrong with having an aggressive goal, because when you have those types of goals, it's pretty motivating. Even if you realize that it is an aggressive goal and probably unlikely, it's still motivating and it makes things happen fast. But anyways, I just wanted to share this video with you all. I hope you enjoyed these types of news videos. If you do, please make sure to smash that like button, drop a like on the video. Really does help me out, and it shows me that you appreciate this type of content. Regardless, I'm probably still going to be covering this news because it does relate to my portfolio and I am interested in this. But I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you would like to begin investing, feel free to use my referral links in the description below to sign up, and you'll get some free stocks. It's free money, and it just takes a little bit of time to sign up, pretty much, because you can sell your free stocks even if it is just $4 to $5. It's still free money. It is passive income and like something that I wouldn't get otherwise. So there's really no negative side to that since you can sell it. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week.